There is a question that most people never dare to ask themselves. What if your future self could see you right now? Would that future version of you smile with gratitude? Or would they quietly wonder why you kept waiting? Imagine for a moment that every hour of your life is like a single gold coin. You receive 24 of these precious coins every morning. You cannot save them. You cannot earn more. You cannot borrow tomorrow's. Whatever you don't use simply disappears forever. Now ask yourself honestly, where did yesterday's 24 coins go? Did they build your dreams? Or did they vanish into endless scrolling, unnecessary worries, and promises of I'll start tomorrow? The truth is uncomfortable. Most people don't lose their dreams overnight. They lose them one ordinary day at a time, one postponed workout, one skipped chapter, one unnecessary distraction, one more excuse. Individually, these moments seem harmless. Together, they become a lifetime. Picture a young traveler standing before two roads. The first road is smooth, comfortable, and easy. The second is steep, uncertain, and difficult. Naturally, almost everyone chooses the easier path. After all, comfort feels safe. But here's the hidden cost nobody talks about. Every time you choose comfort instead of growth, you're quietly sending a message to yourself. You're saying, my future can wait. My dreams aren't urgent. The person I could become isn't worth today's effort. Without realizing it, you begin believing those messages, not because someone else told you, but because your daily actions repeat them over and over. And eventually, your life begins reflecting exactly what you've practiced. Here's something many people misunderstand. Being busy doesn't mean you're moving forward. Think about a rocking chair. It moves constantly, back and forth, yet after hours of movement, it hasn't traveled even 1 inch. Many lives look exactly like that rocking chair. Meetings, notifications, phone calls, scrolling, entertainment, constant activity, very little progress. They confuse motion with momentum, but they're completely different. Momentum moves you closer to your destination. Motion simply keeps you occupied. One creates results. The other creates exhaustion. The saddest part. Many people spend years feeling productive while quietly standing still. Time never argues. It never complains. It simply keeps moving, whether you're ready or not, whether you're working or waiting, whether you're building your future or delaying it. Every sunrise brings another opportunity. Every sunset quietly takes one away. One day, a wise craftsman was asked the secret behind his remarkable success. People admired his work, his discipline, his achievements. They assumed he possessed extraordinary talent. He smiled and replied, I don't protect my money first. I protect my mornings. Everyone looked confused. He continued, money can return after it's lost. Time never does. Those simple words carried more wisdom than many books. Because successful people understand something most others ignore. Your calendar reveals your future long before your results do. Look at where your hours go, and you'll see where your life is heading. Your future isn't created once a year through resolutions. It is quietly shaped every ordinary Tuesday, every average Wednesday, every seemingly unimportant afternoon. One decision at a time, 1 hour at a time, one habit at a time. Imagine standing inside a room with 2 clocks. One hangs on the wall, the other lives inside your heart. The clock on the wall measures hours. The clock inside your heart measures purpose. Most people spend their entire lives watching the first one, while completely ignoring the second. Every morning they wake up believing they have plenty of time. I'll learn that skill someday. I'll write that book someday. I'll start exercising next month. I'll chase my dream when life becomes easier. But someday is a strange place. No one ever seems to arrive there. Because every someday quietly transforms into another tomorrow. And tomorrow becomes next week. Next week becomes next year. Until one day, people wake up wondering where all those years disappeared. The painful truth is this: time doesn't disappear. It gets exchanged. Every hour you spend on something unimportant is an hour traded away from something meaningful. Life is constantly asking a silent question. Is this really how you want to spend your limited time? Most people never answer. They simply continue repeating yesterday. The philosopher once said, "The chains that hold us are rarely made of iron. Most are made of habit." Think about your own life. How many habits are quietly stealing your future? Checking your phone the moment you wake up. Watching one more video when you promised yourself only 5 minutes. Waiting until you feel motivated. Searching endlessly for inspiration instead of taking action. None of these habits seem dangerous. But neither does a single drop of water. Yet over time, even water can carve through solid stone. Small actions repeated daily shape extraordinary lives. And unfortunately, small distractions repeated daily shape ordinary ones. Here's something few people realize. Your future is not built during your biggest moments. It is built during your smallest decisions. The decision to wake up when the alarm rings. The decision to read instead of scroll. The decision to finish one difficult task before seeking entertainment. These tiny choices seem invisible, but they are writing tomorrow's story. Imagine 2 seeds planted on the same day. The first seed receives sunlight, water, and patience. The second is forgotten. At first, they look exactly the same. Days pass. Still little difference. Weeks pass. One begins growing. Months later, one becomes a mighty tree. The other never had the chance. Dreams work exactly the same way. People often quit because they don't see immediate results. They water the seed for 3 days, then dig it up to check if it's growing. Success doesn't work like that. Growth happens quietly, invisible before it becomes obvious. Every author finishes 1 page at a time. Every athlete wins 1 practice at a time. Every successful entrepreneur builds 1 small decision at a time. No masterpiece appears overnight. Only consistent effort creates extraordinary outcomes. And consistency has a secret enemy: comfort. Comfort whispers beautiful lies. You've worked enough today. Take a break. You deserve another hour. It won't matter if you skip today. Comfort never shouts. It speaks gently, kindly, reasonably. That's why it's so dangerous. Because the voice that ruins your future rarely sounds like an enemy. It often sounds like a friend. But discipline speaks differently. Discipline isn't loud. It simply says, do it anyway. Even when you're tired. Even when no one is watching. Even when progress feels invisible. Because discipline understands something comfort never will. The life you dream about is built long before anyone else notices. Because the voice that ruins your future rarely sounds like an enemy. It often sounds like a friend. But discipline speaks differently. Discipline isn't loud. It simply says, do it anyway. Even when you're tired. Even when no one is watching. Even when progress feels invisible. Because discipline understands something comfort never will. The life you dream about is built long before anyone else notices. Long before applause. Long before success. Long before recognition. Every remarkable life begins in silence, in lonely mornings, quiet evenings, hidden sacrifices, and invisible victories that nobody celebrates. Until one day, the world calls it overnight success. But you know better, because every great achievement is simply thousands of ordinary moments, used wisely. Have you ever noticed that the biggest regrets in life rarely come from failure? They come from waiting. Waiting until you feel confident. Waiting until you have enough money. Waiting until the timing feels perfect. The painful truth is that perfect moments almost never arrive. Most people spend years preparing for a future they never actually begin. Think about a tiny seed buried beneath the ground. If that seed kept saying, "I'll grow when the weather is perfect. I'll grow when there is no risk. I'll grow when I feel completely ready," it would stay buried forever. Growth always begins before certainty. The same is true for your dreams. Every successful person you admire once stood exactly where you are now. Confused, afraid, uncertain. The difference wasn't confidence. The difference was movement. They took one small step before they knew the entire path. Because action creates clarity. Waiting creates doubt. The longer you postpone your dreams, the heavier they become. Eventually, they stop feeling exciting. They start feeling impossible. Imagine carrying a backpack. At first, it's almost empty, easy to lift, easy to carry. But every day you delay, another stone goes inside. One stone called fear, another called regret, another called what if, another called maybe next year. Soon the backpack becomes so heavy that moving forward feels impossible. The strange part, those stones were never placed there by life. You placed them there yourself. One excuse at a time. Your future isn't created in one dramatic moment. It is built quietly. One decision, one habit, one focused hour, one difficult conversation, one page read, one workout finished, one business idea finally started. Great lives are simply ordinary days repeated with purpose. Many people believe success comes from motivation, but motivation is unreliable. Some mornings you'll feel inspired. Most mornings you won't. Discipline is what carries you when motivation disappears. Imagine two travelers crossing a desert. One only walks when he feels excited. The other walks every single day, whether he feels like it or not. Who reaches the destination first? The answer is obvious. Consistency always defeats intensity. Another mistake keeps people trapped. They confuse activity with progress. Being busy doesn't mean you're moving forward. Answering emails all day, checking notifications, watching motivational videos for hours, making endless plans. These activities feel productive, but they don't change your life. Only meaningful action creates meaningful results. Ask yourself this simple question every evening. What did I build today? Not what kept me busy, but what actually moved my future forward? That one question can completely change your life. Successful people guard their attention like treasure, because attention is where time begins. Where your attention goes, your life follows. If your attention is controlled by endless distractions, your future becomes accidental. If your attention is focused on meaningful work, your future becomes intentional. Imagine sunlight. Spread across the ground, it feels warm. Focused through a magnifying glass, it can start a fire. Your attention works exactly the same way. Scattered attention creates average results. Focused attention creates extraordinary ones. Here's another truth few people want to hear. No one is coming to rescue your dreams. No perfect mentor, no magical opportunity, no lucky break. Opportunity usually arrives disguised as difficult work. Most people ignore it because it doesn't look exciting. But those willing to begin before they feel ready often discover doors opening that were invisible before. Action reveals opportunities. Waiting hides them. Years from now, your future self will ask only one question. Did you use the time you were given? Not. Were you comfortable? Not. Were you always confident? Not. Did everyone believe in you? Only. Did you use your time wisely? Because time is the only resource that can never be replaced. Money can return. Knowledge can be learned. Health can often improve. But yesterday is gone forever. So today. Don't promise yourself another Monday. Don't wait for January. Don't wait until life becomes easier. Start with one decision. Read one chapter. Write one page. Exercise for 20 minutes. Launch the project. Make the phone call. Take the first step. Small actions repeated daily become extraordinary lives. Remember this. The life you dream about isn't waiting somewhere in the future. It is quietly being built by the choices you make today. Every hour matters. Every decision matters. Every action matters. Your future isn't created someday. It is being created right now. So choose wisely. Because one day, you'll meet the person your daily habits have created. Make sure there's someone you'll be proud to become. Now let me tell you something that might completely change the way you see your life. The biggest difference between successful people and unsuccessful people is not intelligence. It is not talent. It is not luck. It is the decisions they make when nobody is watching. Think about a sculptor standing in front of a giant block of stone. The masterpiece does not appear in a single day. It is created one careful strike at a time, one small cut, one small improvement, one small decision repeated over and over again. Your life works exactly the same way. Every book you read, every workout you finish, every difficult conversation you choose to have, every distraction you refuse. These are the tiny strokes that slowly carve your future. Most people underestimate small actions because they want immediate results. They plant a seed today and expect a tree tomorrow. When nothing happens after a few days, they quit. But nature never works that way. A bamboo tree spends years growing its roots underground before anyone can even see it. Then suddenly, within a short time, it grows higher than anyone imagined. People call it overnight success, but they never saw the invisible work happening beneath the surface. Your growth is no different. The discipline you build today, the habits you create, the knowledge you gain, the confidence you develop. Even if nobody notices today, they are building roots beneath the surface. One day, people will look at your success and say, "You were lucky." They will never see the thousands of quiet decisions that made your success possible. And that's okay, because true builders are not interested in applause. They are interested in progress. Here's another truth. Your future is not created by motivation. Motivation comes and goes like the weather. Some mornings you'll feel unstoppable. Other mornings you'll want to stay in bed all day. If your life depends on motivation, your future depends on your emotions, and emotions are unreliable. Successful people don't rely on motivation. They rely on systems. They wake up, they do the work, even when they don't feel like it, especially when they don't feel like it, because they understand something powerful. Discipline creates freedom. At first, discipline feels difficult. Later, it becomes your greatest advantage. Imagine two people. One chooses comfort every day. The other chooses growth every day. At first, their lives look almost identical. But after 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, the gap becomes impossible to ignore. One is living intentionally. The other is living accidentally. Every decision compounds. Every habit multiplies. Every day matters. And here's something many people never realize until it's too late. The biggest regrets in life usually don't come from failure. They come from potential left unused. The book never written. The business never started. The dream never pursued. The opportunity ignored because fear felt safer than action. Years later, people often ask themselves, what if I had started? What if I had believed in myself? What if I had stopped waiting? Those questions are far heavier than failure itself. Failure teaches. Regret lingers. So don't wait until someday. Someday is simply a word people use when they don't want to make a decision today. The future you're dreaming about is quietly being built by what you choose right now. Every hour has a purpose. Every decision has a consequence. Every day becomes a page in the story of your life. The question is, will your story inspire you or disappoint you? Only you can answer that. As we come to the end of today's story, I want you to remember one simple idea. Time never stops. Whether you act or not, whether you prepare or not, whether you chase your dreams or ignore them, the clock keeps moving. So make every day count, not by becoming perfect, but by becoming slightly better than yesterday. Small improvements, consistent action, patient persistence. That is how extraordinary lives are built. If today's story spoke to your heart, take one action before you leave this video. Not tomorrow, today. Choose one meaningful task you've been delaying and complete it. Your future self is waiting for the decision you make today. Thank you so much for spending your valuable time here with me. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to Tales by Hasiba, and share it with someone who needs this reminder today. Until our next story, take care of yourself. Protect your time. Believe in your future. And remember, your life changes the moment your daily choices change.